Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle two of the most powerful and honestly most confused forces in our relationships: emotional intensity and emotional safety. So the question is, are you building a thrilling roller coaster that's, maybe destined to crash? Or are you building a solid foundation that can withstand pretty much anything? Let's figure it out. I want to kick things off with a question that might just challenge everything you've ever been taught to look for in a relationship. We're all told to find that spark, right? That electric chemistry. But what if that feeling, that intense drama, what if it isn't passion at all? What if it's really a sign of instability? I mean, think about it. From movies to books, we've been practically trained to see turbulence as a sign of some epic love story. The huge fights followed by those passionate makeup sessions, the jealousy that gets framed as just caring too much. It all paints this picture where chaos somehow equals connection. But that's the exact idea we're here to unpack today. All right, so let's dive right into our first big concept: emotional intensity. What does that actually feel like? Well, just think of it as that high-stakes, totally unpredictable roller coaster. So emotional intensity, it's all about extremes. It's that constant feeling of never really knowing what to expect. One minute, you're on top of the world, and the next, you feel like you're in the absolute depths of despair. And because it feels so potent, our brains can so easily mistake all that anxiety and adrenaline for deep, passionate love. And here's the kicker. For some of us, especially if we grew up around chaos, this kind of instability can actually feel familiar, almost like home. And that makes it incredibly hard to spot as a problem. Now, what's really telling about this slide is how familiar these things might seem. Unpredictable moods that just keep you on your toes. Those incredible highs that almost make the crushing lows feel worth it. And that cycle of fighting and making up, it's like a powerful chemical cocktail that can create this kind of addiction, almost like a trauma bond that just keeps you coming back for more. And underneath it all, this constant feeling of unsteadiness, like the floor could just drop out from under you at any second. But there is another way to build a connection, one that feels completely different. So let's talk about emotional safety. If intensity is that wild roller coaster, safety is the warm, steady hearth that you can always come home to. Emotional safety is the absolute bedrock of a healthy, lasting relationship. It's that quiet confidence that you can be your true, authentic, sometimes messy self, and not only will you be accepted, but you'll be cared for. It's the freedom to be vulnerable without ever having to worry that your vulnerability is going to be used against you down the line. And this just illustrates the difference perfectly. Instead of unpredictability, you get consistency. Instead of jealousy and possessiveness, you get trust and real mutual respect. Communication is open and honest, not like you're walking through a minefield. And when conflicts pop up, because hey, they always do, the approach isn't me versus you, it's us versus the problem. Okay, so we've got the theory down, but where does the rubber really meet the road? The true difference between intensity and safety, it isn't in the big, grand gestures. It's in the small, everyday moments. So let's walk through a few. Okay, first up, a situation I'm pretty sure we've all been in. You walk through that door after a draining, just awful day. You're upset, you're tired, and you just need a little bit of support. Just look at the contrast here. It's night and day. The intensity reaction immediately makes it about them. It centers their own discomfort and just piles on blame and stress. But the safety reaction, it does the exact opposite. It centers the person who's actually hurting. It offers support without any pressure, and it creates a safe space for them to unload. One escalates the stress, the other completely diffuses it. All right, next scenario. Plain old human error. Somebody messes up, a bill gets forgotten, an appointment is missed. It's frustrating, for sure, and there are consequences. So how is it handled? See, the intensity reaction goes straight for blame and, character assassination. You're so irresponsible. It's an attack that just puts the other person on the defensive and solves absolutely nothing. The safety reaction, though, it acknowledges the frustration, which is real, but it immediately pivots to teamwork. We can fix it. Let's figure it out together. It reinforces that they're a team, even when things go wrong. And finally, the most important test of them all, vulnerability. One partner gathers up all their courage to share something really tender and fragile, a deep-seated fear or an insecurity. This right here is the ultimate fork in the road. The intensity-driven dynamic, it punishes vulnerability. It dismisses it, mocks it, or even worse, it weaponizes it in a future argument. It basically teaches you, hey, keep your walls up. But a safe relationship, it honors that vulnerability, it listens, it validates, and it reinforces that sharing was the absolute right thing to do. It builds a bridge of trust, brick by brick. So, to just kind of sum up these examples, when you're faced with a bad day or a mistake or a moment of vulnerability, an intense dynamic consistently creates more stress, more blame, and more fear. A safe dynamic, on the other hand, consistently creates comfort, solutions, and a deeper connection. One path leads to a breakdown, and the other leads to a breakthrough. The pattern is crystal clear.
So what does all this mean for us? At the end of the day, why should we choose the quiet warmth of a hearth over the spectacular flash of a firework?
I just love this metaphor because it captures the choice so perfectly. The firework of intensity, it's breathtaking, it's exciting, it gets your heart pounding, but it's over in a flash, and all it leaves behind is smoke. The hearth of safety might seem a little less dramatic, but it's that reliable source of warmth that gets you through the long, cold nights, year after year after year.
And this isn't just a nice feeling. There are very real, concrete reasons why safety is the key to lasting love. First, it builds that deep, unwavering trust, which is the very foundation of real intimacy. Second, it creates an environment where you can actually grow as a person because you're not afraid to be your authentic self. And finally, it creates resilience. It turns you into a team that truly knows, without a doubt, that you can weather any storm together.
So here it is, the crucial point. The one thing I really hope you take away from all of this. We've been sold a myth. The myth is that passion needs drama to survive. But the truth is that real, sustainable passion, the kind that can last a lifetime, it doesn't grow in the chaotic, unstable soil of intensity. It grows in the rich, nurturing soil of emotional safety. And that brings us to our final question, the one I want to leave you with. Take a look at your own connections, romantic, friendships, family, all of them. Are your interactions building a thrilling ride to nowhere? Or are you carefully, brick by brick, laying the stones for a steady path home? The choice and the power to build is yours. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.